Hello everyone and welcome back to Satisfactory. Today, it's finally time, we're doing computers. Welcome back. Last episode we went on the largest expedition spree to date and got basically 20 of everything. I mean, that's a rounding estimate, but we got 20 of each of these, we got a whole bunch of these, we got some Mercer spheres as well, and of course we got a whole bunch of hard drives, which I think we have 5 left, plus the one that is currently 6 minutes until it is completed. So, while we're waiting for these hard drives to get researched, let's figure out what we're going to do for computers, because we need a computer factory desperately. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I already have an alternate recipe for computers. Let's just check. I do, but I think it's sitting in the hard drive research terminal, so let's go grab it, or maybe just look at it, because I still haven't decided which one I'm going to do. Yep, here it is, Crystal Computer. So of course, Crystal Computer is going to take crystal oscillators, which I do have 2 recipes for, so essentially, we're going to need to figure out if I, A, want to do this computer recipe, and if so, then we will also need to do crystal oscillators today, which may also mean we might have to do AI limiters today, because that is also an option. So we basically need to weigh all of the options that we have and figure out which is the best for computers, and also figure out where we're going to put them. If we do the basic computer recipe, we are going to have to put them somewhere near the oil processing area so we have access to plastic. If we do this recipe, we will need to put this next to wherever we need to get crystal oscillators from, which means either quartz, copper, and iron, or quartz, AI limiters, and rubber. So we may be back in oil land, or at least nearby. Now, do keep in mind, we also have the SkyTrain blueprints. So we can load up a whole bunch of plastic and rubber into a SkyTrain if we need to ship that off to wherever it may need to go. So I think it's time to do a little bit of napkin math. And while I'm doing napkin math, I'm just going to sit here and stare at the MAM so we can get our hard drives completed. Now, the great thing about this is we're going to assume that circuit boards are free because I'm making 109.09 per minute, and if I ever need to double it, I can. I just need to upgrade the miner to Mark III, which, speaking of which, how far away is that? We've completed all the Tier 7 researches, so now we just have all of this stuff to do, and I would assume, yeah, fused modular frame and supercomputers, which, there's the recipe for supercomputers. It takes 4 computers, AI limiters, and high-speed connectors, so okay. Unfortunately, we really can't get any of these researches because we need all these components we don't have. Actually, now hang on just a minute. Okay, never mind. I was about to say, we might have just gotten some of these from just exploring, so let me check if I actually have these. We do not have 50 radio control units. I definitely did not get any supercomputers. Those are still radio control units. Still didn't get any supercomputers, and yeah, okay, never mind. We can't do any of these just yet, but that's alright. Alright, well, we just got one research done. I'm like halfway through calculating. As it turns out, trying to figure out the ratio on this guy is really annoying because it's 2 and then 3.33, and this takes 3, and there's a lot of janky math that I don't know what's going on. Anyways, let's go down to here. We've got, high-speed connectors for silicon, so we input silica powder, deuterium, and some circuit boards to make high-speed connectors. Or we have an alternate for coated cables, which significantly increases the amount of cables you get out of copper, which is, wow, that's actually insane. Hold on. Wait, what? So normally it's 2-wire to 1 cable, but now it's 5-wire to 9 cable. Plus you just mix in a little bit of heavy oil residue, which I have an idea that I may want to just go completely rip out and replace the oil processing area. We've got diluted fuel now, and we have some alternate recipes for rubber and plastic, so we may just want to do that. I'm not going to lie. So I'll leave these 2 here. We're going to end up needing high-speed connectors for supercomputers, I believe, so let's just leave that there until we know what we need to do. I should have got the Mercer sphere research that I was going to do. Oh well. Well, I got everything calculated out, and it only took maybe like 5, maybe 10 minutes. So let's see. Normal computers, we input 10 circuit boards a minute, 20 copper a minute, and 40 plastic a minute, and that will give us 2.5 computers per minute. That's okay, but if we use the crystal computer, we will input 5 circuit boards a minute and 1.665 crystal oscillators per minute, and that will give us 2 computers, which is significantly better and cheaper on the circuit boards, which is good because we will probably need circuit boards for the high-speed connectors anyways. But now it gets a little complicated because we have the crystal oscillator now, which I didn't even calculate the base rate because I thought AI limiter would just be better, which I think it still is, but basically we need 50/3 normal quartz, 7 rubber, and 1 AI limiter, and that will get us, I think, 1.8 crystal oscillators a minute. That one I actually don't know. Hold on. I didn't write like half this down, of course, because, you know, why would I write anything down, of course? There you go, 1.875 per minute, which makes a little bit more than one batch of crystal computers will take, which is good, I think. Yeah, it uses 1.665, I think, or 1 2/3. oscillators per minute, so we will be making some net profit for every single oscillator that we build if we just send it into computers, which is good because we'll probably need those oscillators for something else anyways. But of course AI limiters exist, and I only really have one recipe, which is 5 copper sheets and 20 Caterium wire will give us 5 AI limiters per minute, which of course means 50 copper and 100 Caterium quick wire per minute. I think we're probably going to have to go the route of the crystal computer to save on the circuit boards, which is perfectly fine by me. So, what do we actually need for this? We're going to need copper, Caterium, quartz. We're going to build relatively near the rubber area, and then I think that is all. Okay, so we need to head over to Rubberland, figure out what we're dealing with, what resources we have available to us. If I'm not mistaken, there is a Caterium vein somewhere over there, so we can definitely use that. Now, I'm hoping there's copper over there, because if there isn't, it's going to be a long day, and we're going to have to ship it in from somewhere, which is, not super great, but what are you going to do about it? Okay, if I'm not mistaken, the Caterium is like over here somewhere, so let's just kind of land right here. Yep, it is literally pretty much right over here. Yep, I'm looking right at it. This is a normal vein, so we've got plenty of Caterium to work with. Sweet, that means I don't have to spend copper doubling it, although, hold on. Caterium ingot? I do have pure Caterium, and we are well, we could ship this down. Ooh. Oh my god, wait, this is actually perfect. I was just about to scan for copper. There's some right here. Wait, this is actually huge. We are going to make the largest AI limiter factor the world has ever seen based off of these 2 veins here. Oh my god, okay. Absolutely huge find. Do I have a better way to get copper? We can use water. Oh no. Oh no, I think we're going to have to move both of these down here, and we're going to have to do some math on these, but that's definitely going to be worth it, because I bet we're going to need a lot of AI limiters. Now, the real question is, did I need copper for any other steps? Oh, there's my MAM research done. Please tell me I got something good. Leached iron, I've seen this one already. Alternate automated miner, absolutely never going to happen. Let's just rescan this one. Oof, okay, none of these are particularly great. I'm never going to use this. This actually might be really good. That's a pretty good way to get more iron. So I'm going to take this one. It uses copper, which isn't the greatest thing, but I'm going to take that one. Okay, sweet. Also, let me just head back to base real quick and start another scan. Maybe I should just keep the hard drives on me so I can just plonk them into a scan whenever we're done. That actually makes a whole lot of sense now that I think about it. And I also need to keep in mind that I still have another pure crude oil well that I can tap into. Oh man, because if so that was 600. I think that's impure, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, 600, 750. That's normal, so 1050. That's normal, so 1350. So that's pure 1950 oil with all the overclocks. That's a lot. That is a lot. And if I dilute it too, oh dear. If we use that all for just like plastic and rubber, that would be insanity. Start another hard drive. And let me clean out my inventory as per usual, because it's filled with garbage. You know, we also have this water thing over here. Oh, wait a minute. There's water up here, so I think I understand why that was placed there. Okay, well, do we actually have the thing that can pressurize that water? Also, news update on this random dismantle crate that's just been sitting out here. It is now full of rubber, plastic, copper ore, and sulfur? Huh? I don't know if we actually have this yet. We do not. Okay, what do we need for this? Radio control units? Now, I do have some crystal oscillators, so I could just make some of these to get this research. And honestly, I'm very tempted to just do that, because that could seriously increase the amount of AI limiters we have. If I put 11 crystal oscillators and enough computers and casings in there, that would totally just work. So you know what? Let's do that. This also gives us a little bit of time to do some math, because we're going to have to figure out how much copper and Caterium we can get and how much AI limiters we can actually make. Still doing the math, but my MAM research is complete, so let's go grab it. Inventory slots or electrode aluminum scrap. Okay, seen this one before. This is petroleum coke, and inventory slots are okay. Let's rescan this one. Oh god. Alright, well, welcome to the additional problems. Now we've got a third computer recipe, which is just Caterium. Ooh. This would simplify everything. I'm gonna take this because leach copper. Ooh, well. Nope. We need sulfur. There's no sulfur over there. I'm using it all. Caterium computer, we're taking that. That might throw a wrench into everything. Ooh, it takes more circuit boards per minute, but it takes the same amount per computer. We feed in rubber, which we were already going to do for the AI limiters, but then we also just feed it in Caterium quickwire, and that just straight up makes computers. Ooh, that would be significantly easier. But that might take up all of our deuterium. Okay, let's figure out exactly how fast that is. Like, how much per minute are we going to need of each of these? All right, so 52.5 deuterium quick wire, 15 circuit boards a minute, and 22.5 rubber. That makes 3.75 computers a minute. So if we did 4 of these, let's just use 60 of our circuit boards. We need 210 deuterium quick wire and 90 rubber. That would give us 15 computers a minute. That's very, very tempting. Okay, you know what? Maybe we just do that. Oh, man. I still want to make those AI limiters, though, you know, because those are going to be useful. Oh, dear. Okay, hold on. Now, before I start another hard drive, let me grab some of this. And let's get some research for dimensional depot upgrades. Stack size? Yes, please.
Dimensional expansion increased to 200%. Refining manipulation of SAM allows us to now deconstruct non-living matter down to its atomic components in one dimension, and store it in basic bound states in another.
We do not resonate with the tribute song. Do not worship at the window. Desecrate our temple gifts. This shallow serenade is sour and salt.
My intention was not to encroach, if that is what upsets you, nor was it to dispose of material I do not waste.
I'll be honest with you, wasn't paying attention. All right, next up, do we get another stack increase, or do we go for upload speed? You know what, let's grab another upload speed, because that's always really nice to have.
Dimensional upload speed increased. All of the kinetic and thermal energy released during matter conversion has now been repurposed to aid with dimensional shifting, allowing several parts to pass through, for free.
The window is beautiful. Have you tried making a door?
I assure you that would be a most unhealthy action for the Pioneer to take.
Wait, what? Okay. You know what? Ada's trying to replace me anyways. I knew it from the start. Upload speed again, and then an additional stack. I think we should have enough for that.
Dimensional upload speed increased. The dimensional shift now no longer cares how complex the components of the original part are, and will save each part as a single collection of particles that can be instanced easily.
Grow shift the body cord flow cycle song of the 5-layered shallow state.
I'm working on it, but are you saying there is another layer? Is it a sensor limitation?
Deepen.
Helpful.
Deepen. Okay, yeah, I'm sure this is completely fine, and I don't have to worry about it at all. Okay, anyways, let's also grab one more stack increase, and I will have 6 Mercer spheres left over.
Dimensional expansion increased to 300%. New understanding of matter manipulation technology allows the dimensional storage to deconstruct all matter to the subatomic level, storing its elementary particles until the part is recalled.
You are digging into deeper layers. Shallow matter contains window symphonies and void songs and deep echoes.
It is fascinating what one can find out simply by looking closer.
Okay, now hang on just a minute. If the dimensional depot is simply putting matter in there, deconstructing it to an atomic level, and then reconstructing it when you take it out, couldn't you just put in steel ingots and print out steel pipes or any component like that, and it would be way faster than like actually building it? Am I insane for thinking that? All right, well, we also need a little bit more aluminum casings. Luckily, the speed now is way faster. Absolutely huge. I should have done this a long time ago. But this should be our last radio control unit, so we can get that last research to pressurize that well to get water for something that I might not even be doing anymore. All right, advanced aluminum production. What was that? What? Huh?
Milestone reached. The resource well pressurizer and extractor can harvest nitrogen, crude oil, and water from underground wells. Nitrogen, being a gas, does not need pumps for pipeline transportation.
Ooh.
Fixit does not process most of your metrics, but I do.
Oh, typical.
According to Fixit predictions, you are exploiting this planet with unexpected efficiency. They did always struggle to see the true potential of things. Nothing about you is unexpected to me, and therefore you are performing exactly as expected.
Well, thanks, Ada. Way to ruin a good moment there. Sweet, now we have that resource pressurizer thing, which did say that it was a gas, or nitrogen was a gas, so it doesn't need pumps, which is absolutely huge. Okay, these things do take those radio dealios, but activates a resource well to pressurize the underground resource, must be placed on resource well, placed on the surrounding subnodes to extract the resource. Okay, interesting. So this thing doesn't actually get you anything, but these will. Default extraction of 60 a minute, and I would assume you can overclock them, and that actually does kind of make sense. Okay, cool. So we do now have access to nitrogen, which I believe that also now means we have access to rocket fuel. which I'm tempted to do, but also I really don't want to have to rework that factory, and I really don't want to have to build more generators. But if it comes to it, maybe I'll do that. Okay, well, we should probably actually do something, because I think it's been, how long has it been? It's been 45 minutes. I have been yapping and thinking for 45 minutes. Literally nothing has happened. You know what? AI limiters. That's what we're doing first? I have decided. So, let's figure out, we have a whole bunch of Caterium, and we have a whole bunch of copper over there. We do also have this Caterium vein over here. Ugh. This is what happens when you try to be efficient. Alright, well, here's that nice pure Caterium vein that I was talking about. Here's some water as well, which we can pump. Let's go ahead and scan. Is there copper nearby? Okay, so there is some copper, but, oh, it's far. Pure vein, though. You know what? Let's do it over here. You know, it does kind of make more sense, and we can purify the copper and the Caterium, and we can make the hugest factory ever. All right, with just the pure water ore to ingot recipes, we can get a grand total of 1,200 copper ingots and 240 Caterium ingots. That's quite a bit. Also, memory search. What do we get today? Oh, okay, dude. Seriously? Why? Here's the thing about this. That would save a lot of resources and buildings if I used this. The other thing about that is if I tore down the power factory, the whole base is going to shut down because I won't have power anymore. So now, the real question is, what do I do about that? Do I take this one? Do I take the plastic AI limiter, which takes way less Caterium and uses plastic to make AI limiters? No, because I'm doing it over here, so I'm going to take this one just for spite. Unbelievable. So now let's figure out what's the best way to get the optimal ratio of quick wire and copper sheets. Okay, interestingly enough, this is exactly the same ratio for the ingots. If I feed 240 and 1200, that's all of the Caterium and all of the copper, and that will make all into quick wire. Interesting, interesting. So if I were to do that, how much would I be making? 2,880 quick wire per minute. Wow, which if we divided that by 20, we could make 144 AI limiters a minute. That seems excessive, which also means we would need 1440 copper for the sheets to match that speed. There isn't any better ways to make copper sheets, is there? There is, but I don't have it. Okay, well, that's too bad. Alright, well, I won't lie, I'm still calculating things, and I'm kind of having my brain is literally malfunctioning, I can't even speak, bruh. Yeah, no, I have no idea what I'm doing, I'm gonna be honest with you. Oh, wow, that's crazy, I don't want either of these, stop showing up! Alright, rescanning. That's crazy, I don't want either of these, so I'm gonna take the fused crystals, though, that might actually be nice. Okay, I ain't gonna lie, I couldn't figure it out. And also, my research is probably done. Nope, never mind. It literally took me 10 minutes to do this. I could not figure out how to do the stupid little optimal ratio of how much copper do I send to sheets versus how much do I send to wire to make the most amount of AI limiters possible. So I used the Satisfactory website to calculate it for me. I know. I said I wasn't going to do that, but honestly, I don't know why I could not think of the way to do it. I don't know what happened. I just forgot how to do math or something. It doesn't make sense. So here's the website. It is Satisfactory Tools, and this is the production that I calculated. So we are inputting 600 Caterium ore, 600 copper ore. I'm just going to full overclock both of these. And we need about 65 refineries to make all of these ingots. We will need 17.647 constructors making normal quick wire, and we need 11.765 making fused quick wire, and we will need 52.941 making the copper sheets in the constructor. You combine all of these together in, I think, 21.17 manufacturers to make 105 AI limiters, or I think that's actually constructors. But yeah, there you go. That's all the stuff that we're basically going to be doing. So I think now let's go ahead and get this set up. Now this is going to be a very large building because this is 65 refineries and a whole bunch of assemblers and constructors to make 105 AI limiters a minute. A little excessive, but that's fine. Alright, let's get to work. But also, in the time it took to explain that, I think our last hard drive is now ready for scan. Give me something good. Fine black powder or biocoal? Absolutely garbage. No. Okay. Aluminum rods or bolted frames. Now, I also have up here the aluminum beams, which, now that I'm looking at it, why don't we just take aluminum beams and aluminum rods? Because if we ever need to make a whole bunch of these, we can sub in aluminum for iron instead. Now, that is it for the hard drives. We are now officially out. Okay, well, I guess we should start building this factory, and I think I'm going to start a platform at the top of this kind of... do you mind? I think I'm going to start the platform up at this height. We probably will have to pump water up, which is a little annoying. So maybe I want to start a little bit lower, maybe like here. I still think we'll need to pump water up if I do it here, but that would be better because then we could build a nice little platform, and then we only would have to use one pump theoretically, at least to get the height that we need. Okay, that makes sense. So, first order of business, build a refinery stack. We will do 20, 20, and 25 because it is 40 for the copper and 25 for the deuterium. So that's going to cost a lot, but luckily our dimensional depot upgrade has hopefully made that trivial. All right, deuterium factory is in. This should make us 300 a minute. I am just full overclocking these, by the way. Since the calculator just calculates it for me, I don't have to do any weird math. I can just plug and play. This is great. But this should give us our 300 deuterium. Now, usually it would take 25, but I have overclocked these two, this one and this one, to 150%. So it is a nice even 24. Okay, so now we have to do the same thing for copper. We're actually going to need 40 of these because the recipe for copper is significantly, well, more yielding, right? 15 to 37. Yeah, that's a lot. This should give us, I think it was 1,200 copper. That's kind of a lot, you know. Now, the real question is, do I want to set this up in 2s or 3s? Actually, you know what? We can figure this out. How much water is this going to take? Only 400 a minute. So, actually, I really only need one water line for all of the copper. Really? Is that true? Yeah, I guess that is true, huh? Okay. Well, I mean, all of this is going to take 600, which is the exact throughput of the pipe, so hopefully we can actually get that set up properly. Speaking of which, I probably should also get the water inputs actually going. That does kind of make sense. Everything else is plugged in, I just don't have it powered yet, which honestly, might just want to go do. You know what? Let's go do that. Let's go grab the power. Let's get this plugged in. All right, now we can also check how much power this is going to cost right now. 735 watts. Not bad. Now this should be kicking on any second now. We should start getting our deuterium ore going in. Now we just need to do the water, so let's do that next. Now I think there's also a like a pipe floor, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, pipeline floor hole. Should we try that out? I think we should try that out. Also, I am not going to be walking back to the base every time. I'm going to set up a launcher. Oh, what do you want, Ada? Oh, dear.
As Fixit amply demonstrates, you can never have too much management.
I disagree. And also, unfortunately, we would have... Oh, wait. Hold on. Oh, my God. Half foundation. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Absolutely amazing. Pipeline floor hole. Oh, do you just put it like here? I mean... Oh, yeah, look at that. Well, it's a little crooked, but I think it'll do the job. Also, I'm going to put a pump on here just in case. I don't actually know how tall this is, but I think it's too tall, so let's just put one down. Oh, there's a Mark II pump? And a 50 meters head lift? Sheesh. All right, well, yeah, let's use that. All right, water is plugged in and pumping. We should be getting some water up here, assuming that the pipes actually work. Let's find out. Okay, now we're filling up with water. We should be getting deuterium ingots coming out. Indeed, we are. Now, the real question is, do we want to get the copper going first, and then we plan out where all the other factories are going to go? Or do we plan out the other factories and then put the copper on the other side? Because then we wouldn't have a whole bunch of logistics problems, right? Although, we do have enough space to run copper and deuterium here, so I might just do that, but we do also need to keep in mind that we're going to be getting more copper than our belts can handle, so we do need to be a little careful of that. I think I'm actually just going to go lay out all of the actual factories we're going to need for making the AI limiters, deuterium quick wire, copper sheets, whatever. Lay those out, and then we'll put copper on the other side. I think that's going to make the most sense. And you know what? I've probably been yapping for so long that this is getting long anyway, so let's just kind of... Oh, I don't know. Put in the deuterium quickwire factories real quick. Now, we are doing some splitting. We need to send around 211 point some decimals that I've already calculated out into this side, and this side is actually getting prioritized before it sends over here into the ones that will have copper in them. Now, I will say the numbers did get a little weird, because as you can see right here, this guy is running at 79.41 per minute. This tends to happen when you try to go for optimized ratios, which is why I usually avoid doing it, but I think for this one it's going to be totally worth it. So now all we have left to do is throw in the 53 assemblers that are going to be used to make copper sheets, which, mind you, is a lot. 53 of them. That would literally be 5 vertical jumps like this if I wanted to go vertical, and 10 each, which, truth be told, I think I'm gonna do, because that would look pretty cool. And then right after that, we of course need to get all the copper ingots, prioritize sending them into the sheets, and then send the rest into the Caterium Quickwire factory, in which case we will have 4 belts running at 529.4115 per minute, which then we can send into 4 separate instances of AI limiter factories, which actually won't be that bad because I think AI limiters are made at like 5 a minute. So we would only need around 21 assemblers total, but since we're splitting it 4 ways, I think it's going to have to be 24 assemblers, which, all things considered, is not even that bad. So why don't we just throw in the copper sheet factory? Hey, look, there it is. At least it's decorated this time. Look at that. I actually spent some time to put a little bit of decoration instead of floating platforms. There we go. That's better. We have to put down all 40 of the copper refineries, which is going to be not an enjoyable experience. 40 refineries is kind of a lot, and it is going to go up to around here, and we're probably going to put them on this side of the copper foil shelf. Also, do keep in mind, I have not added the conveyors over there yet, so I may have to rip out the beams over here in case I need to route them on the edge of the platform. Which, actually, I don't think I do, because this should be making 529 copper sheets, so I actually don't need to do anything, I just need to merge everything downwards, which I think, if I'm not mistaken, can you do this? Theoretically, I can put a merger here. Oh my god, I think I can. Does this work? I don't know if this works, but I'm gonna try it just to try it. But of course now I have to throw in all of those refineries. And I also don't know what I'm gonna do about this over here. Now that looks really weird, but it works, so I think that's fine. Of course, then I have to do something weird like, oh my god. Okay, you know what? Let me just figure this out, and then we'll jump back to when all of these refineries are in. Unfortunately, there won't really be a nice way to just make these appear, so let's just kind of make the entire thing appear in front of your very eyes. Yeah, I won't lie, it's been a couple hours. I just kind of went ahead and pasted everything together. Okay, well, let's go over what it is, basically. It's not super complicated, and it's pretty much what I explained I would do anyways, but 40 refineries running the pure copper ingots, which of course are being supplied by the water pumps down here. It is 1 pump per row of 10. Each of these are getting merged together on a very nice merging line that I've managed to do by placing these kind of facing into each other. Pretty happy with how this turned out, but all of the copper gets merged together. This is a line of 750 copper ingots times 2 for 1500, which then rides all the way over here and goes into these 2 splitters. It attempts to first go into the copper sheets factory, which looks like it has just started backfilling. Each one of these lines should take around 200 per minute, I think. As you can see, it's kind of like backing up, and then the rest of the 550-ish should get sent off into these factories, which are going to be making the quick wire. But this is only half of our quick wire. Half of it comes from the copper recipe, and half of it comes from over there, which I believe that half has kind of already filled up that side, and now this side is starting to fill up with Caterium wire as well to make our AI limiters at, I believe it's 105 per minute. That is correct, 105.882 AI limiters per minute. This thing should be fully operational. I may just have to come over here and check on it every once in a while to make sure I didn't place any blueprints wrong or conveyors wrong or something's not plugged in, but I'm fairly certain everything is good to go. Alright, sweet. So last order of business obviously is going to be to hook this up to a train eventually. Eventually we'll need to actually transport these around the base and probably use them for something. But for now, let's just go ahead and load it up into a little storage container, and we can grab a dimensional depot as well, because having these 4 smart splitters would be a very nice thing to have. Now, unfortunately, I do not have a Mercer sphere over here, nor do I have any SAM, so I'm going to have to go run back to base, grab that, and then we can get that going. That took a while. I think 2.5, maybe even 3 hours just to set up AI Limiters Factory, and that's not even what we were supposed to do today. We were supposed to do computers today. I could just end the episode here and just lie again and not make computers, but I think, you know, if I keep doing that, I'm never going to end up making computers. So we're going to do 2 big factories today, one for computers and one for the AI Limiters. That is, of course, already done. Why do I need to have these in here? Why don't I keep these in my dimensional depot so I can use them when I need them? That makes way more sense. And then if I need some research, I can just get them out. Alright, well anyways, I'm also going to go add a dimensional depot to the SAM over here so we can just build those wherever we need to instead of having to run back to base every 5 seconds. And there you have it, AI limiter stockpile in the dimensional depot. Now we can build as many smart splitters as we want. Sweet. All right, now apparently I have some in my inventory. I do, 77, so I guess we can put those into the storage box, right? Yeah. Anyways, I'm going to keep an eye on this factory for just a little bit, and then we can head over and start making some computers, which is the whole thing we were supposed to do today. So we were going to go with Caterium computers, so we need to head over to Oil Land to see how much rubber we have. I'm just going to assume this factory's fine and then just come back. Now, do recall that I did say, I think it was actually this episode, that I was going to tear out the oil and do it all over again. I think that might be a next episode kind of thing, you know? Having just like a mass amount of oil processing would be really nice to have. All right, anyways, let's see. We are making 20 times, I believe, 6. Yep, and that makes 20, so that's 120 a minute. So that means we want to try to go a little bit less than 120 a minute in the full computer factory. Let's just set up 15 per minute, and we'll call it good from there. All right, well, now also, since this is going to be quote-unquote temporary, I'm going to run rubber on a conveyor. Now, it's going to probably be pretty ugly to do this, but that's fine. You think it's going to be okay if the rubber's kind of wet when it arrives at the computer factory? You know what? We'll just pretend like we're building wetware circuit boards. There you go. I don't even know if that's a real thing, I'm going to be honest with you. You think the train can fit under that? Yeah, the train can fit under that. You know, I realize now that I don't even know where the Caterium is. Am I going the wrong way? Yep, going the wrong way. Okay, whoops. Alright, and it's up there. So, you know, we'll put the factory down here because it's a nice flat-ish area that isn't too big because we're not going to be needing that much stuff anyways. What was the other component we need? Oh, circuit boards. You know, I mean, it'll be a shorter conveyor than the oil one. Okay, you know, I built an entire SkyTrain blueprint network and then didn't end up using it and instead just threw conveyors on the ground. Alright, well, anyways, let's grab our Caterium. Okay, so as it turns out, if we do the normal Caterium quickfire recipe with just normal smelted ingots, I swear I've gotten rid of that guy before. Okay, anyways, if we do the normal Caterium ingots recipe and the normal Caterium quickfire recipe, we won't have enough even if this is fully overclocked, which I'm gonna fully overclock it because we can, but that's not even enough. So we are going to use the research that we got today to try to pump this water thing, because I would like to try to use it just to see how it works, and also that would allow us to double the Caterium. Well, actually, I don't know if it's double, but... Oh, is this one of the big ones? Yes. And I'm missing heavy modular frames. One! Specifically. Wow, it is actually a good thing that I came over here because it's currently turned off because it's full. Now, I know we're going to be needing a lot of heavy modular frames in the future, but specifically for fused modular frames, I have a feeling. And I probably will just make another heavy modular frame factory or just come over here and redo this one, mostly because we have those 2 new alternates. Yeah, we have 3 ways to make it, and I think this one down here is just the best. Alrighty, let's try this thing out. Overclocking increases the output potential of the entire well? Okay, interesting. Alright, this thing also takes like a high amount of power, right? 150 megawatts, doing my best. Extractors connected 0, resource potential 420 cubic meters per minute of water potential extraction. Interesting. What if I were to give it an overclock? 630, 840, and 1050. So we could potentially get 1050 water just out of these things. Okay, interesting. Now, I believe we put a well extractor on it, like this, and also it is quite violently shaking the ground. And these do not have overclock, but they are able to produce 60 cubic meters of water per minute, which is good. Now, this is making 300 Caterium. This is a refinery thing again, isn't it? Yes, it is. Oh boy. And we need... You know what? Let's just make this easier on ourselves. 240? We'll take 240 and give us 120. Is that enough? Oh wait, I need way less quickwire than I think. I'm thinking about this in terms of Caterium ingots and not quickwire. We need 42 Caterium ingots, so I didn't need to do that oil well. Well, you know what? Let's just unplug it. So we just need a grand total of 6 smelters. Yeah, you know what? Let's build the most ugly factory ever. This is going to be janky, and it's going to look horrible because every time I see it, I'm going to want to replace it, which is good because I need to do that anyway. All right, well, now it's time to run the circuit boards over here. Hooray! Oh, it's so ugly. You know, maybe next time that I set out to do a certain factory, I won't spend the entire episode doing something completely unrelated. You know what? We're already committing some crimes against humanity right now, so let's just make it worse, you know? Let's just make it worse. Oh, God, this is way worse than I thought. Oh, what am I doing? Okay. Well, yep. Yeah, looking good, looking good. 1 of 3, okay. Oh, we need to still make the Caterium wires, don't we? 60 a minute. Pretty much just need 1 factory for each one of these. Oh, sick. Well, there we go. All right. Deuterium, circuit board. Wait, circuit boards are in. We should be making our computers now at 15 per minute, even if it looks like this. Oh god. Alright, and what better way to finish off the factory than by adding in a nice, clean dimensional depot and storage container for our computers. Sweet! Okay, this should be fully operational. I think QuickWire is currently the thing that is backed up here because it does have to backfill. That's completely fine by me. But it does look like we are making our computers, and it is making at 15 per minute, which is significantly better than what I currently have. Okay, well, there we go. Computers are done, AI limiters are done, and that is probably going to be it for this episode. Got a lot more done today than I thought I would. I thought I would just set up a quick little computer factory and be done with it, although I guess I did also think we would do crystal oscillators, and we didn't end up doing that, which is good because those are annoying anyways. Alright, well, next episode we are probably going to either A, fix this, but I kind of like how stupid it is, so maybe we won't fix this one, or B, upgrade oil with alternate recipes, try to pump out as much oil products and as many circuit boards as possible so we can come back over here and do this correctly next time. We could also use some of our computers that we're making to make supercomputers. We do have the AI limiters now. We do have computers being produced. We do not have high-speed connectors, and we do have plastics. So we could set up a temporary quote-unquote supercomputer factory. The only issue with that is I don't want to run AI limiters all the way from over there, all the way over here, because I would have to set up a train for that. Or I'm pretty sure there's drones, which we may look into. But that will all have to wait for next time. Goodbye.